All right, we're going to talk about news gathering today. This idea of news gathering is kind of how do we get information? How do I generate information? Interviewing is a lot about news gathering and finding out information content from sources. And so today we're going to practice a skill of using Google Forms. Especially in times of quarantine and distance, it's great to reach out to people by using Google Forms and conducting surveys. We call them, oftentimes we call them call outs in the journalism world. Well, we're calling out to our audience, to experts and getting their input. And so we're gonna walk through and I want you to think about something you can make a Google form of today. That's the objective today. Make a Google form, maybe it's a quiz, maybe it's a survey, something that we could send out and have people fill out, and it'll help generate some ideas for potentially a story or project that we're working on. Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through. I'm gonna share my screen here, and here's how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna share my screen, and that should bring you up. I'm gonna go into Google Drive. If you go to drive.google.com, this should look familiar to you. And in my Drive, I actually have a folder for this class, Intro to Media Publications. If you don't have one, you can just click in your My Drive and maybe create a folder. See, I've got all kinds of crazy folders in here. So in my Media Publications folder, I'm gonna navigate there because that's where I want my form to go. And I'm just gonna go new, and we could do a Google Doc, Google Sheet, but I'm gonna do a Google form. And I'm gonna create it in this folder. And that way I know where it's gonna be. Title, we're gonna title it something that grabs the attention. I'm gonna do mine on my spark, the thing that I'm interested in right now. I'm gonna go with making hats, crocheting, winter hats. It's cold, right? We talked about chirp, conflict, human interest, immediacy, relevance, proximity. It's winter season's coming, or whatever, or it's getting cold at nights. And so people want to keep their hats, their heads warm. How do you keep your noggin warm? That's what I'm gonna title mine, right? And so I'm gonna ask some questions about crocheted hats, or whatever we call them. So that's gonna be, my first thing is I need the basic information. When you're doing a call out or a Google form, you wanna make sure you know how to contact who it is that you're talking to. So I'm gonna start by just putting a name in here. And look, Google Forms is smart. They even just changed it to a short answer question, right? So they're gonna do that. I'm gonna require that they give me their name. They won't be able to submit it unless they give me their name. I guess you could adjust this if you don't want. Then I'm gonna add this little plus, and I'm gonna add another question. Maybe follow up contact info, right? And maybe I'm gonna add a little description in here. Can I contact you for follow-up questions? Include your email address here, right? So you got to find some way to catch up or follow up with them, especially if they like share something that's really intriguing and you want to know more about, right? You got to do that. So you got to get those basics, that basic information. I might want to know, I got to think about who my audience is going to be. So I might need to know what grade they're in if I'm doing this for school publication. So whatever general information. Then we're going to start our quiz. There's all kinds of different types of questions. What do you call this? And I'm going to add a photo. I think that's it, right? Yeah. I'm going to add a photo. Let's see. I'm going to do a Google image search. Hat, winter hat. Ooh, there we go. See, everybody calls these different things. I want a better photo of a hat. Let's just go with this basic one. What do you call this? And I'm going to make it multiple choice. Some people call it a beanie. Some people call it a cap, stocking cap. what do you call it? A toboggan? I don't know. What do you call this? I'm gonna add an other response. I'm curious what people call it. So, you know, maybe it's a little survey. How important, what factors determine the winter hat you choose? And maybe there's all kinds of different, we can do a scale here. I'm gonna do a linear scale with 1 being not important, very important. And so I'm gonna say, how important is style or look in the winter hat you choose? Choose 2 O's. All right, so I'm gonna do that. If it's very important, they're gonna put 5, right? And then I'm gonna say, how important is comfort in the winter hat you choose? I'll do the same thing, not very. And you can do all kinds of, things. Any kinds of different questions. How important is warmth in the winter hat you choose? Maybe I'll do a couple of these. I'm trying to think of what information I might want for my survey. And maybe I'm gonna do, I don't know what I'll do with this, but that's something to think about as you do it. So I got a couple of good questions in here. What is your favorite color of winter hat? Right, and so we'll go with blue, black, red, brown. I guess we'll let people do another. All right, I'm gonna think about that. And then I'm gonna do one last question. I'm gonna do, submit a photo of you in your favorite winter hat. And check this out, you can do a file upload, right? A file upload. And they can add things. If I hit continue here, I want a specific type of file. I want them to just submit an image file. And I suppose you can submit as many photos as you want, right? And if I do that, then I hit OK. And there it is. And there's a question. Submit a photo of you in your favorite winter hat. And they can take a photo and do that. I'm just going to get rid of that last question. Right? And so there's my questions, you know, just a couple of quick, easy questions. And we're just going to practice on how we use this. And then the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to hit send. Right? And when you send it out, you can then email it to people. You can copy this link. Here's a link to the form. Right? You can even practice, preview it. And this is what the form is going to look like. Right? These are the different questions. Right? So I'm going to go back over here. Oh, I should probably name it. There we go. Named my form. That saved it. So when I'm ready to send it, I'm going to copy this link right here. All right. I'm going to copy the link to this Google form. And I want to share this, and I'm going to turn it in. Show Mr. Craik my little survey that I took. And so if you come over here to Google Classroom, right, we've got a Google slideshow here. And if you click on this Google slideshow, it'll bring you in, and just pick one of these, right? Here's mine. This is the template. What keeps your noggin warm? Please take a quick Google survey about winter headwear. And I'm just going to paste my Google form in here. And then people can come and take the survey, right? So you think about what kind of form you might ask. Hopefully it's something that is your spark. I tried to include some conflict about whether headwear, what do you call it? Is it a toque or a toboggan, or what do you call it? I guess people in different areas of the world call it different things. What do they call it? And then, you know, relevancy, immediacy, Human interest, everybody likes a nice warm winter hat. Immediacy, it's getting cold out and people want to do that. Right? So those things are kind of chirpy. So I'm thinking about maybe I could turn this into a photo story about people wearing the different hats people wear. What's the best winter cap? Maybe I want to turn this into a story about top 5 things to consider when you're selecting your winter hat. I don't know, whatever it could be. But maybe I'm going to take photos of a bunch of different winter hats, and maybe I'll use this information in this survey. Of the people surveyed, most people focus on style or comfort over warmth. Whatever, maybe this will be information that I could use. So that's a great way to gather information, news gathering, especially when we want to go and kind of do a call out and get a survey, general idea. Some of you might create a quiz or a question or a Google form that you could send out to anybody. Some of you, if you're doing something on 5 things you need to know about Dungeons and Dragons or whatever it is, maybe you're going to just send that email, that link to people that you know that you want their input. Right? So maybe you'll just send it to those people in your D&D circle. Or maybe if you want to do something about interesting things about lacrosse or basketball or sports, and maybe you send it out just to athletes, to people on the team, and find out what's their favorite workout regimen or their best thing. This is a great tool that people on yearbook staff might use, on journalism staff as they're generating information, or even just surveying to get some ideas for a photo story or for a project that you're working on. So that's the task for today. Go to it.